So, hello and welcome to this monthly restorative practice. My name is Rocio Marte, and my intention is to walk us through 30 minutes of pure hope and trust for this moment, wherever this finds you, either in a recording or either live, trusting that things are unfolding uh, to the best that they can. With that said, I am reading, I always have a read of things that inspire me. I'm reading from the book of Belonging of Toko-pa Turner, a couple of phrases. She says, take your attention down to the tiny, miraculous stitching of the life you are creating from nothing, and trust that each small thread is connecting you to the greater body of belonging. One day, maybe today, you will look back on everything that came after your decision to attend to your life as an artwork, as a masterpiece, with blood maybe stretching across a landscape behind you, and you will know you have come a great distance. Here, with your great cape of wounded moons, a piercing presence in your eyes, a living history on your skin, you will know you have always belonged. Hmm. And reflecting on being of a place of feeling that we belong. Let's have here where you are, as you are. You could be seated, you could be lying down. I always like to land. So give yourself a deep breath into the nose. Open mouth and let it go. Um, if it's accessible, maybe bring one hand to your heart, to your chest. And I'm thinking in those words, tending to your life as a masterpiece, as an artwork. And with that, we breathe in. And with that, we breathe out. And I will move a little bit back to come to my mat. I said last month that I wanted to work with things that I have in my house rather than bolsters and props professionally. And I just have three cushions. For this class, if you have three cushions, you will have more than enough. I'm coming on a little bit back behind to be on my mat. I'm thinking in that, what does it mean to trust in this moment for you? And I feel that when we are in the opposite and trusting, we bring our shoulders up and we are like either apprehensive or either defensive. So thinking of that, I am seated cross-legged. You could be doing this lying down on the floor. You could extend your legs towards the front, maybe even place a cushion under your legs. I'm going to do that as more comfy. Let's just bring our arms wide and up, just stretching a little bit through the shoulders before we find the floor. Bring your left hand to the floor. I'm just mirroring you and allow that other arm to stretch to the side. Inhaling, coming back again through center, just finding some stretches. Check if you can inhale and get from the crown of the head up towards the sky. That other hand to the floor and lean over to the opposite side. Back again through center, to arms, you just stretch, stretch, stretch. And then see if it's possible to bring hands to touch. I like to interlace hands, and if it's okay, the palms of the hands, make them face up and nothing too fancy, just wiggling a little bit side to side if that feels good for your shoulders. After you've done that, see if you can bring your hands a little bit back behind. And again, wiggle side to side. Nothing fancy. Release the hands, bring your fingertips to touch your shoulders, and just do circles with your elbows. You could be doing this perfectly lying down on the floor. If you come back to this recording and then do it in the opposite way, you see, I'm not being too hard on myself with the shoulders, with the elbows. And now we're going to come to the first way that we're removing the elbows, the arms, and just bring elbows to touch and then bring them wide. This is allowing some beautiful space at the back. Elbows touching, up and then wide. Fantastic. Do the opposite in the opposite direction. Fantastic. Beautiful. And then last time, just stretch, stretch, stretch. That first hand, for me, is my left. Maybe for you, it's your right. Leaning over to one side. Maybe you can feel some differences. Maybe it's all the same. It's all good. We're changing sides, opposite arm, just leaning over. Just for a moment, come back again through center. If it's okay, if it feels all right, gaze up towards your hands, bring them to touch. If it feels correct, appropriate for you, maybe palms touching in front of your heart, maybe one hand in your belly, one hand in your heart, and just a deep breath in and a deep breath out. What does it mean for you to trust this moment, this breath that comes in, this breath that comes out? We will stay in this settled space. Open your eyes so that you can wiggle around where we are coming. And we are intentionally finding a child's pose. I'm going to show you by my side. See if it's possible to come to your knees, and maybe if it's okay, bring your big toes to touch, sit on your heels. And I have here three cushions. My trick for this, rather than having the cushion squared, I put it in an angle so that it could come a little bit under the knees. But I also do a little bit of like a stacking. So there's a tiny bit of each of the cushions pointing out. So there I have a small angle, as you can see. That's my trick for when I do things at home. I don't have it with me. Oh, yes, I do. Thank you for your patience. If this feels a little bit hard on your knees, I'm always surrounded by pillows. It is a great idea to place a pillow in between the buttocks and the heels. Oh, that's so much nicer. And you can tell I have a thing for yellow. Each of the cushions one on top of the other. And now we're just leaning forward. You will need a little bit of wiggle of the legs, of the feet. And I like to bring one hand on top of the other and let my forehead rest somewhere where it's comfortable. You might want to stretch your arms long, maybe your cushions give you more support or less, and you can let the head rest somewhere. Find a position or location that works for you. In this shape, since we're doing this restorative shape, will be a good amount of 2 to 3 minutes. So I am wiggling a little bit more until I'm truly, truly comfortable. It does take time. Checking what is just the perfect spot for my shoulders, for my neck. Let's see if we can do that together. If you can do that from home, just a long breath in through the nose, open mouth and sigh out. I love to notice my back ribs since we are lying down on our bellies from your back body. Deep breath in and deep breath out. One more so that we can really settle here. Deep breath in, back body, back ribs, and out. And then just settle here for 2 minutes and a half, allowing the head to become heavy, letting the shoulders melt, and taking in this full possibility of pure support on the front body. Notice where you are in space. Notice your lower back, the upper back, the belly, the support, and where you are. Just a long breath in through the nose. If it's accessible, maybe a big sigh. Take your time to gently find hands touching the mat. Walk your hands slowly towards your legs. If it's accessible, if it's okay, we just come into sits on our heels just for a moment. See if that's possible. If your palms can be facing up, and just have a moment. Noticing the blood flow recalibrating through the spine, maybe tending and elevating just a tiny bit the crown of the head towards the sky, softening the shoulders down. And from the back ribs and the front ribs, deep breath in and deep breath out. Again, one hand to your heart and just again, sprinkling that sense of trust in your breath that is always here for you when it comes in and you are aware. And your breath that comes out and you are aware. Beautiful. Releasing hands beside you. And we just, I will stay with only one pillow for the next pose. I'm going to bring those two pillows to the side. It's cushiony one that I also like for a pillow for Shavasana. I'm going to leave it here. And our next pose will require us to lie down on our back. So I'm coming to create space. And I have a more or less small pillow. I want something for you, if it makes sense, rectangular, that is not too big in regards to your torso. Again, nothing fancy. I prefer to have the pillow closer towards my buttock so that my shoulders, when I come back down, are touching the floor. See if you can find something. And I might need to wiggle. You see, I'm squeezing the bolster so that my tushy can touch the floor. And there's something in my back that is off the mat, but something in the shoulders is touching. So it's a very gentle way of opening the heart. It will stay here for a tiny bit longer than that first pose. And I like to start with my knees bent and my arms wide and just have a feel. And the subtle tightness that we usually naturally have on the upper back, the back ribs. And if after the first minute you feel that it might be okay, you might stretch your legs long, but not necessary. Sometimes bending the knees makes it less intense and more sweet. Here again for a good amount of 3 to 4 minutes, just then that gentle support. And if the pillow feels too big and you need to wiggle around until you find the perfect spot, sometimes a folded blanket can also do you more than enough. It's not a big opening, it's just this gentle elevation of the chest. We just rest here, we just notice the breath coming in. And notice the breath coming out. Here for 3 more minutes. Start to gently deepen the experience of your breath. Just notice where you are. No need to move, no need to do anything, just breathe it in. And also breathe it out. This gentle awareness of what is shifting in your nervous system, in the muscles, in the connection of you and the floor. And again, just trust this moment as you breathe in and as you breathe out. And then lovingly bend your knees, plant your feet on the mat. We will stay low on the floor. Roll over to one of your sides and take that pillow from behind you and stay on your back just for a moment, a flat back, knees bent, arms wide, and just have a moment tasting your spine, the place where the blanket or the pillow was before and it's not. From that space, deep breath in and deep breath out. When we open our ribs in this way, we allow better air into the lungs, more clarity when we can breathe deeply. Again, last one here in this shape, deep breath in and deep breath out. We're coming into our last pose, and I always like when I'm moving slowly on the floor to roll over to one of my sides. As a transition, taking your time tenderly with yourself as you press one hand on the floor, lift yourself just enough so that you can bring one pillow under one knee and maybe another pillow under the other knee. We're just preparing for Shavasana. And I'm having these two pillows of support as if they were a bolster. And this pillow that I had before, I'm going to use it as support for the head. Not much, just wiggling around among pillows to be as comfortable as we can be. And here we spend the longest time. We will be here for 4 to 5 minutes. So make sure that you're comfy. I don't have a blanket on top of me, but it might be great to place a blanket or a throw if you're close to your couch. And just notice not much. The breath coming in and the breath coming out. Resting in this space, and I will let you know when it's time for us to gather back again. Start to gently deepen the experience of your breath. Notice your body here on the floor, perhaps the touch of the air on your skin, and your body here lying down on the floor. As we start to close the practice, you might stay here for a couple of moments in this space. You're coming out, wiggle fingers and toes. Maybe give yourself a stretch if that feels appropriate. Deep breath in and out. Again, you might stay here in some stillness or perhaps hug knees towards your chest if that feels appropriate. I like to rock the legs side to side, awaken to the spine, and roll over into one of your sides and just rest for a couple of moments. Stay rested as you find one of your hands touching the floor, the torso coming gently upright, and you meeting yourself, if it's okay for you, in a seated posture. You might give yourself some moments to just notice the blood flow centering the head, supported by the shoulders, the torso supported by the hips, and seeing yourself here. As we close, I repeat some of the words that we heard at the beginning of the practice. You might stay with your eyes closed, maybe one hand in your heart. Take your attention down into the tiny, miraculous stitching of the life you are creating from nothing, and trust that each small thread is connecting you to the greater body of belonging. Trust that each small thread is connecting you to the greater body of belonging. Thank you so much for taking the time today, for showing up in this way for yourself, tending to yourself. Deeply grateful for your practice, and I will see you next time. We're growing into a library of practices that you can come back and watch and enjoy. Thank you.